Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So, Ryan Garcia defeats Emmanuel Tagoe by a 12-round unanimous decision. And, you know, this fight was a shutout. There were no rounds that you could argue that Tagoe won. He was basically on survival mode for the whole fight. And yeah, Ryan Garcia successfully makes his return to the ring after 15 months out. But how did he look? I think a lot of people are going to be very critical of this performance from Ryan Garcia, and there were certainly aspects in there in which he needs to improve on. But at the same time, I do have to say, when you're fighting a guy who is truly trying to survive and not engage, it can be hard to stop those guys. I don't care how good you are. Sometimes those guys, if they're not coming to fight, it can be extremely hard to stop them. But yeah, I felt early on in this fight, one thing I noticed, even before the first bell, was how calm and composed Ryan Garcia looked. Right from his ring walk, I wondered whether there would be some nerves being out of the ring for so long. And having, you know, he's apparently gone through some issues in the last few months. But no, he came in there, looked calm, looked relaxed, very poised, and he started the fight that way. Right away, he was applying pressure, more pressure than we're used to seeing from Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia pressured Luke Campbell after he got dropped to get the stoppage, but primarily Ryan Garcia likes to stand off you and try to time you coming in with that left hook or his right hand. Primarily a counterpuncher, but in this fight he was applying much more pressure, and he was doing so from round one. He was kind of taking a look at Tagoe in round one, seeing what he had to offer. Tagoe was basically kind of just backpedaling and throwing a few jabs here and there. He tried to come back with the odd right hand, but nothing of any consequence. Ryan Garcia landed the better shots, got a few body shots off. The right hand was somewhat landing in the first round. He also managed to time Tagoe's jab a couple of times with his own left hook. Round two, Ryan Garcia hurt Emmanuel Tagoe. I think he caught him with a right hand, I want to say. Tagoe was hurt. Ryan Garcia followed up and landed a cuffing shot, which dropped him. Tagoe was complaining that it was a slip, but it was a clear knockdown. And at that point, you wondered, is Ryan Garcia going to get Tagoe out of there? But yeah, Tagoe got through round two, and he continued to spoil and survive, you know, just backpedaling, holding when he could, etc., ducking low, that sort of thing. You know, rounds 3 and 4, once again, Ryan Garcia purely dominant, walking down Tagoe, landing body shots, again, timing the jab of Tagoe. But I think after like round 3, Tagoe started to roll under Ryan Garcia's left hook, and I saw a good adjustment by Ryan Garcia in like round 4 and 5, where he wouldn't throw the left hook with the same trajectory as he was throwing it. He was kind of making it a hook come uppercut, and he was managing to time Tagoe by doing that, but for whatever reason, Ryan Garcia reverted back to his left hook, which Tagoe was then evading, getting under it. So yeah, I think Ryan Garcia should have stuck with that hook come uppercut because it was landing. And yeah, I mean, round 6 onwards, Tagoe started to open up a little bit more. He caught Ryan Garcia with a good left hook in round 7. A couple of body shots as the fight went on, but nothing of any consequence. Again, primarily, Tagoe wasn't throwing power shots. He was just prodding with his jab, backpedaling, and looking to survive. Round 10 was a very good round for Ryan Garcia. Actually managed to catch Emmanuel Tagoe opening up. He timed Tagoe with a really good right hand, bang on the chin. Tagoe squared up and took it flush, and he was seriously hurt. His legs were wobbly. Ryan Garcia tried to apply the pressure, throw some punches to get the knockdown or knockout, but Tagoe managed to survive by holding, you know, and kind of spoiling. And yeah, I mean, Ryan Garcia closed the fight out in rounds 11 and 12, once again winning the rounds, landing the power shots, forcing the fight, walking down Tagoe. And yeah, I mean, it was one of those fights where one guy came to fight and the other guy didn't. So, I mean, it's one of those ones, really. I mean, in terms of experience, in terms of getting the rounds in, I think this fight was good for Ryan Garcia. He was fighting somebody who had a very negative style, which is something he's not seen before. So, theoretically, that should be good for his experience going forwards. And listen, he was doing some good things in there, showed some good speed, some good power, was picking some nice shots at times, but again, primarily Ryan Garcia is a counterpuncher, in my opinion. And in this fight, I think you saw that he needs to add some more subtleties to his game when it comes to actually creating his own openings. One thing he wasn't doing in this fight anywhere near enough, in my opinion, was setting up his right hand with his jab. But Ryan Garcia does have a decent jab when he throws it, but Ryan Garcia in this fight was leading a lot with right hands, and eventually Tagoe started to get the timing down and he was able to evade some of these shots, and Ryan Garcia wasn't catching him by surprise for the most part, and implementing a jab to set up the right hand I think would have been beneficial for Ryan Garcia. Lack of feints as well. When you're fighting a guy who's not really giving you much and he's scared of your power, scared of your speed, because Tagoe definitely was, at least try and make your opponent bite on some feints. But there were no feints from Ryan Garcia, no attempts to draw the lead of Emmanuel Tagoe. So yeah, in terms of offense, Ryan Garcia, he's got every punch in the book: uppercut, left hook, good right hand, etc., good body shots. He can throw these shots, but in regards to setting them up, I think he needs a lot more work. And there's a couple of other little things in there, like Ryan Garcia, he's got the habit of fighting with his chin up in the air. That wasn't as big a problem in this fight due to Tagoe throwing nothing, but he was still doing it. So he needs to kind of try and tuck that chin a little bit more. Ryan Garcia is what I describe as a raw potential. If he were to take boxing seriously and the right trainer gets hold of him, he could be a very formidable fighter. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. He's still very young, and he still has potential. Was it a great performance? Absolutely not. Was it awful? No. It was in between. It was satisfactory, But I think a lot of people are going to throw the baby out with the bathwater in regards to this fight and how they judge it. But yeah, I mean, Ryan Garcia, he won every single round. He dominated the fight. Dropped Tagoe in round 2, hurt him in round 10, basically won every second of every round. So, I mean, it was what it was, really. It was what it was. I mean, where does Ryan Garcia go from here? Obviously, Devin Haney and George Kambosos, they are booked up right now. Lomachenko, God knows what his situation is. Tank Davis is fighting Rolando Romero, but I tell you what, if they could get Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia later this year, that would be a tremendous fight. That's the fight I'd love to see in regards to Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis. That'd be amazing. If he can't get Tank Davis, even someone like Jojo Diaz, I don't think he would be a bad opponent at this stage for Ryan Garcia. Of course, Jojo recently gone to lightweight, gave Devin Haney a lot of trouble in his first fight at lightweight. So, Jojo Diaz could be a good opponent for Ryan Garcia also. But yeah, the main thing is for Ryan is to stay active, to stay in the gym, to try and develop that relationship with his new trainer, Joe Goosen, and see where he goes. But, I liked what I saw in some regards. Other things needed to be improved. Another thing I liked from Ryan Garcia in this fight, actually, was his post-fight interview. Came across quite realistic, quite humble. Showed a lot of humility. He didn't make any excuses for not knocking out Tagoe. He mentioned that he was moving around a lot, but he was saying that he needed to cut the ring off better and make a couple of adjustments going forwards so this doesn't happen again. So I liked what Ryan Garcia was saying. I liked his attitude going into this fight. He looked calm, he looked relaxed. But technically needs to improve on a few things, no doubt about it. But listen, he's a fun fighter. I get that people don't like him, but I want to see him in some big fights now. I want to see him in with interesting opponents. But yeah, share your thoughts below. It's been your guy Delboy. Peace.